Corey Kluber closed out his month of May in style, striking out 50 batters in his last 4 starts and getting a win in 3 of them. Jason Kipnis continues to sizzle in May as well, and he has 3 days left to etch his name all over the Indians' record books. Trevor Bauer hasn't been too shabby either. He takes on Nelson Cruz and the Mariners next on Sports Time Ohio. The famous Space Needle, part of the Seattle skyline since 1962. But tonight we greet you from Safeco Field, which has only been part of Seattle's downtown since 1999. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Game 2 of this 4-game series here tonight. Indians won the opener last night thanks to another terrific performance by Corey Kluber, who now has 60 strikeouts in the month of May. Jason Kipnis gets 2 more hits. They'll be the first teammates to have a 60 strikeout month and a 50 hit month since 1938.
Well, Jason Kipnis, as far as the offensive side, has been a treat to watch. I mean, when you see the number of hits he's getting to left field, he is wearing it out. Anything from the middle of the plate away, he is hammering. He's hitting the gaps. He's hitting extra base hits. And ever since Francona inserted him into that leadoff spot, he has been on a tear. He will get the 50 hits. He wants the 50 hits. He has 15 multi-hit games and 20 extra base hits. That's most since Albert Bell in '94. And it is a very special month of May for Jason Kipnis.
Yeah, because he's also scored 28 runs. Last night he had a couple of runs batted in. He's doing a little bit of everything right now for the Indians offense. When we were kids, we used to play a game called Follow the Leader. When we come back, Andre Knott tells us what Trevor Bauer thinks about following the Indians leader in the starting rotation. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud sponsors of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Here in Seattle, where Trevor Bauer will get the start for the Tribe tonight. And in his last 3 starts, he's given up 1 run each time out. Now, is that because he's just suddenly figured something out about his own pitching style? Or does it have something to do with the guy he's following in the starting rotation? With the answer to that question, let's go down to Andre Knott, a man who doesn't need a calendar because in his world, every day is Friday.
Every day is Friday, and I think today actually is. You know, when you talk to Trevor Bauer, he doesn't want to give too much credit to the fact that he's pitching after Corey Kluber, but he did admit to me, he goes, it's nice to follow a Cy Young Award winner. It's nice to see how he attacks certain hitters. And he goes, and then you try to figure out, can my stuff do the same exact thing? So far in his 3 starts following Corey Kluber over this month, he's been able to almost do this same exact thing. You talked about the earned runs. Let's look at the last start that he made, guys. He went 7 2/3 innings, but he had no walks, and that was a big thing for him. Also on the road this year, only allowed 1 earned run. The Indians want to keep playing good baseball. It all starts with Trevor Bauer on the mound tonight.
That's what I like about Trevor Bauer. He's been out there and he's been aggressive. He's been throwing the fastball, the curveball, the changeups to the left-handers. He's been outstanding on the road. In his 3 starts, he's 2-0. He should be 3-0. But he goes out there, you can see, all following Corey Kluber. Now, look, it may not have anything to do. He has to get the hitters out with his own stuff. But I'll tell you what, if you watch, you learn, and you can pick little things apart and attack hitters the way you should. He's been awfully good this year.
Well, we'll see if he can follow in Kluber's footsteps here tonight. He's up against Taijuan Walker of the Mariners, who's had a rough season thus far. We're back with tonight's first pitch. Coming up next. Does it again, a base hit to left. Kipnis 2 for 3 on the day. They're going to try to come home. Ramirez beats the play, and he's safe. Swing and a miss. He got him. Oh, just blew him away with straight 4-seam heat. And the Indians take the opener 5-3. Entertaining ball game last night. We'll see if the Indians can follow it up. They've won 8 of their last 11 within 3 games of the 500 mark. Seattle slipped below the break-even mark, 23-24. Let's take a look at Terry Francona's starting lineup tonight. It's brought to you by Progressive. Jason Kipnis in the leadoff spot has hit an 8 straight. Jose Ramirez bats second, Michael Brantley third. Moss Murphy, Swisher in the middle, Chisenhall, Bourne, and Perez rounding it out.
The Northern Ohio Honda dealer starting pitcher is going to be Taijuan Walker, 22 years old. He'll be making his 10th start this year. He's 1-5. That win coming on the road. He hasn't had a good month of May. You see a high ERA. This guy has a big league arm and a major league fastball, 95 plus if he's pitching right. Also has a changeup he'll throw to the left-handers. We'll see the kind of breaking ball he offers.
And another guy who doesn't use much of a windup at all. He actually pitches essentially from the stretch, and then he'll just take a little step towards first and then rock into a
la David Price, maybe?
Yeah, a little bit like
from
Price.
The right side?
Yeah. 1-1 strike to Kipnis. Jason batting .449 in the month of May.
What a treat he has been to watch.
Good fastball, and he got a piece of it right into the glove of Zunino.
It's the first start ever against the Cleveland Indians.
And Kipnis rips it into right field. Hit number 49 of the month.
You know, I figured teams would try and start pitching Jason in a little bit more because he's been wearing left field out. Well, here you go. They want it up and in. He got it down, and it wasn't quite in. So what does he do? He pulls the ball. You talk about seeing the ball well and hitting it where it's pitched. There you have it. Kipnis starts out with another base hit, 49 this month.
Now Jose Ramirez. Pops it back out of play. With a right-hander on the mound and Carlos Santana on the paternity list. It's Jose Ramirez who goes into the 2-hole tonight. Avila's batted there last night, but that was with a lefty starter on the hill.
Pretty quick to home plate. There's the changeup.
Pulled the string on him. Gets the strikeout, one away.
Let's check out the Mariners defense tonight. Brought to you by Chrysler. It'll be Ackley in left, Jackson in center, Cruz getting the start in right tonight. Seager at third, Miller at short, Bloomquist at second, Morrison is at first, Zunino behind the plate.
Pat Hoberg has the dish. Crew chief Jeff Kellogg at first, Alan Porter, Mark Ripperger at second and third. Michael Brantley takes a strike. He's not convinced. He looks back in disbelief. And home plate umpire Pat Hoberg. And Hoberg hearing it from the Indians dugout as well.
Well, if the big man here gets that high fastball for a strike, it's going to be a long night for the hitters. It's tough to get on top, 95, 96. That's a little bit above the belt. I think last night it was more of a low strike zone for the pitchers.
Brantley trying to shoot one up the middle, but Bloomquist cuts it off. They get one there, and on the first, it's an inning-ending double play. Mariners turn 2 to end the first. Now the Seattle club comes to bat when we come back. Jackson will lead it off. Then it's Kyle Seager, followed by Nelson Cruz. Seth Smith, Logan Morrison, and Mike Zunino occupy the middle third. You see Zunino's numbers against Cleveland in his brief career. Brad Miller, Willie Bloomquist, and Dustin Ackley rounded out.
Northern Ohio Honda dealer starting pitcher Trevor Bauer making start number 10 this year, coming off a season-high 7 2/3 innings and a win against Cincinnati. 107 pitches, 67 strikes. He's 0-2 in his career against the Mariners. He has made one start here in this ballpark. It was a 3-2 loss, and that was last June.
And Trevor Bauer's first pitch to Austin Jackson, low, ball one. Now ball up the middle, and that's through. Jackson aboard to start the night for Seattle.
Let's check out the Tribe defense, brought to you by Chrysler. It'll be Brantley, Bourne, and Murphy in the outfield. Chisenhall, Ramirez, Kipnis, and Moss on the infield. Perez gets the start tonight behind the plate.
There's Kyle Seager. 0 for 4 last night, punched out 3 times, and that's a rarity when it comes to what Seager does normally when he faces the Indians. He's hit in 22 of 26 career games now against the Tribe. But Corey Kluber and company put the clamps on him last night.
This guy also, he's an Iron Man. He has played in 173 consecutive games. Again, another night without Robbie Cano in the lineup.
You know, Rick, that point you brought up about the consecutive games being played, we'll never know really how durable a player is anymore, just because I think teams, general managers, training staffs, they just don't look at it as wise to run a guy out there every single day.
True. It's totally different, the thought process. Oh, my goodness.
Throw to second, and they've got him out. The tag applied. Jackson just took off thinking that he had Bauer timed, huh?
He must have. And you know what? He didn't stop. But Trevor Bauer didn't panic. He just stepped off and threw it to second base. I thought he was going to come home. There he goes. Steps off. Never panicked. And able to get him. Yeah, he was trying to time him.
Good second look there, too. You saw Brandon Moss, which that's his job. As soon as that guy takes off, it's his job to tell the pitcher, step off, step off, step off.
Yes.
And then he knows, because Trevor can't see him go.
He hears it.
And that base hit in the right field.
Doesn't that always happen?
All right, listen to Moss on the replay.
Yeah.
Kind of faint, but you could definitely hear him hollering.
It was faint, but yes, when you're out there on the field, he heard it. But what I liked about it, some pitchers would, jump or twitch or something. Bauer just stepped off. He had the time, and he made a nice, easy throw.
So 1 on 1 out now for Nelson Cruz. Upstairs, ball one. Cruz had a hit last night, but the biggest at bats of the night came late in the game in the 5th and in the 7th inning, and then each of those occurrences with guys on base, Corey Kluber was able to strike him out.
Yeah, he was DHing last night. He's in right field tonight, and he's a much better player when he plays the field. He's hitting .372 with 15 homers and 30 ribbies while starting in right field. This will be game number 30 that he is starting out in right.
Is that coincidence, or is there something to it?
I don't know. Maybe you like to go out there and play the field a little bit. He's always played the field, but he has DH before, so it's no stranger. But when I look at those numbers, I think I'd play him more than DH him.
The only thing I could think is when you're DHing, if you strike out or if you don't get your job done, all you've got to do is sit and think about that.
Either that or they go into the cages and hit. I think your veterans that DH, they don't do that. They just put their bats down and sit down and watch the game.
But if you're playing a position, at least you can go out there and you put your mind into, okay, what do I have to do right now?
You've got to concentrate on the other side of the baseball.
Yeah.
You got to forget about your hitting and you concentrate on your defense.
Off the outside corner on the 3-0 pitch.
3-0 slider to the big man.
18 home runs for Nelson Cruz, and still not out of the month of May. Good fastball, and
he went 3-0 slider, and he comes right back with a good high heater. Let's see. He just said, "Here you go, baby. Here's my best. Let's give me yours." Now what do you do? 3-0 slider, 3-1 fastball. Does he go with a curveball here? See if he can get him to chase it?
I'd go right back to that fastball away.
I wouldn't.
Runner goes, strikes him out, throw it on to second, too high. No, they got him anyway.
Oh, man.
Kipnis did a nice job to leap in the air, snag the catch, and slap the tag down on Seager for a strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the inning. Turners. A couple of double plays in the first inning, one on each side. A traditional twin killer turn by Seattle, and then they'll strike him out, throw him out for the Indians to end the bottom of the first. Brandon Moss leads it off here in the second. And a foul right back.
Moss homered in his first at bat yesterday. Get the Indians on the board.
Pops this one sky high, shallow left. Seager makes the catch one away. Our window systems, game time temperature tonight, 76 glorious degrees. And everybody's telling us that this is,
it's like summer,
unseasonably warm this early in Seattle. Ted Walsh, the longtime clubhouse manager, mentioned to us that usually this is the weather reserved for July. And in fact, they put it in the game notes. First pitch temperature yesterday of 80 degrees marked the fourth earliest in Safeco Field history for an 80-degree first pitch.
Yeah, and you got to go back to what, 99? So that's something special this weekend. Temperature wise, it's beautiful.
1-2 2 strikes to count on David Murphy. And a foul on the left side, slicing out of play.
Yeah. This guy's starting to mix things up a little bit. That last pitch, 97, he featured a curveball and a changeup to Murphy earlier in the at-bat. There's a curveball. You know, you heard a lot about this guy. This is the guy that, you know, when they were talking about the Seattle Mariners, everybody wants to trade for or get him. And being as young as he is, good athlete, too.
And he throws out Murphy, 2 down. Keys to the game are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. When you get an opportunity with a runner in scoring position, cash in against Walker. And obviously the meat of the order guys for Seattle, Kyle Seager, Nelson Cruz, they'll be important against Trevor Bauer. Nick Swisher, 0 for 4 last night. Well, for Walker, you know, I think it's another case where he's a young guy. You know, you're going to have peaks and valleys and trying to figure things out to that level of consistency that we always talk about.
Right.
You watch him pitch on television, you see the stuff. And then you look at his numbers this year and you're like, something doesn't compute here.
You know, I think at times they want him, like a lot of guys, they want him to throw his fastball a little bit more and command it a little bit better. And I think Lloyd McClendon wants to pitch a little matter. You know what I mean? With a little attitude, with a little edge to him. So so far, I was told to keep your eye on him. If he's throwing like 91, 93 early, he won't be around long. But he started out pumping at 95.
Swisher, a routine bouncer. And the Indians go 1-2-3. Middle of the second, no score in Seattle. Bottom of the second inning, it will be Seth Smith, Logan Morrison, Mike Zunino for Seattle. And a pitch in there for a strike to Smith. A 5-game hitting streak for the Mariners DH tonight.
He was the guy that drew the walk from Corey Kluber last night on an awfully close 3-2 pitch. And when you think about it, when we go back, and the last 2 walks he had were on 3-2 pitches that were maybe an inch off the plate if they were.
That's blooped, and that might be trouble. Lonnie tracking it. What a catch he makes. Going back into shallow left field, 1 away. Now, I'm glad you brought that up about the walks for Corey Kluber, because Mike Pachta did some research, and I mean, it's amazing what he has accomplished this month with the strikeouts.
Yeah,
talked about 60 strikeouts this month, but in his last 4 starts, he's got the 50 strikeouts in his last 4 starts, and he's only walked 4 batters.
Right.
And Mike went back and did the research on that. It's pretty impressive. There's only been 3 guys, he's one of them, that have done that since 1914.
Incredible. Well, yeah, when you think about that, you talk about what he's doing, what Kipnis is doing, in the month of May. It is something very special. You don't see that. You just don't happen to see things like that.
Rip foul. Logan Morrison, Mike Zunino, back-to-back here in the 2nd inning. Morrison with a hit in 5 in a row. 1 for 4 last night. And a strike called. It's 1-2. Slow breaking ball, chops it foul. So you can think about who the other 2 pitchers are to accomplish that. We're going to show you the list here in a moment, right after
the 50 strikeouts and less than 4 walks, or 4
walks
or less.
Yeah. In a span of 4 consecutive starts. Yeah. 1-2 pitch, bounced it in front of the plate.
Well, if you got to go back to 1914 or wherever, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, there's so many. You think about all the great pitchers. What will surprise you is how many of them, how you don't have to go back as far as you think. Put it that way.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Base hit between first and second, perfectly placed by Morrison, and a 1-out base runner. So it's our Lowe's Never Stop Improving stat of the game, and there they are: Corey Kluber, Pedro Martinez, and Raja, 1986. That's as far back as you have to go.
Well, that is surprising, but then you're talking about the walks. When you talk about a lot of older pitchers, you're talking about guys that could strike out 12, 13, 14, 15, but they'd walk a few too. So you're talking about the 4 walks or less, yes.
That just gives you an idea, and we saw it for years with Pedro. In 1986, I didn't have the luxury. You were still playing. I didn't have the luxury of watching Roger Clemens. There weren't as many games on TV. We see highlights once in a while, but you have to be pinpoint accurate to go that many consecutive starts with all those punch-outs and 4 walks or less.
Well, it goes to show you how exceptional that their stuff was. Not only throwing strikes, but guys just couldn't catch up.
Straight up. Playable for Perez. And he's got it for out number 2. Here's our AT&T U-verse rewind back in that first inning. It was a little wild. We got the strike him out, throw him out double play that ended the inning. And remember, earlier in the inning, you had the step off, and he caught Jackson trying to steal second. So,
yes, that was I'll tell you, he came back. He was down 3-0 in that count to Cruz. Comes back to strike him out and get the double play.
With 2 down, here's Brad Miller. The other interesting thing, just to kind of wrap up the conversation about Kluber and Clemens and Pedro. In 1986, when Roger did it, part of that stretch was the 20 strikeout game that he had
against Seattle.
It was against these Seattle Mariners.
Yes, it was. I remember.
He didn't walk a single batter in that game.
Yeah.
Imagine that, 20 strikeouts
and no walks.
No walks.
I figured it had to be part of it. Well, Kluber had 18 in 8 innings.
Yeah. And that was against the St. Louis Cardinals, by the way. 1-1 pitch. No disrespect to the Seattle Mariners organization, but in 1986, they weren't exactly on par with these St. Louis Cardinals this year.
Well, I don't care if you punch out 18 little leaguers. That's still a pretty good job.
With 2 down, Miller has a good count here, 2-1. And just missing 3 balls in the strike. And a strike called, full count. Morrison, the runner, will be off at first. And the payoff pitch is strike 3 called, and he knew it. So Morrison was running in vain because Miller seemed like he didn't want to take the bat off his shoulder. Inning. Bottom third of the Indians order due up here. Lonnie Chisenhall will lead it off for Cleveland. Taijuan Walker's pitch low and away, ball 1. And a foul over to the left.
Lonnie's going to get a start tonight, so hopefully he can do something and take advantage, because the next 2 days are left-handers. And the way it's been going, he'll be on the bench with Avila's playing third.
A little bit low, 2-2. Ground ball towards first. Morrison stops, throws a perfect strike to Walker, who was there to take the throw one away.
Tell you what, he ran a good angle, did Walker, to first base. Watch him go toward that line, and Morrison ends up feeding him beautifully, and he beats him to the bag by half a step. That's well done.
Michael Bourne steps in. Let's go down to Andre Knott.
I heard Rick say the other day that the best move Terry Francona's ever made as a manager was putting Jason Kipnis into the leadoff spot. Well, Michael Bourne out of the leadoff spot has been hitting 300 since being taken out of that spot with a 378 on base percentage. He was hitting 188 with a 254 on base percentage back on May 9th. When that happened, he's hitting 354 since, guys.
Well, let me ask you, Andre, how does he feel about hitting down in the lineup? He would love to get back in that leadoff spot, wouldn't he?
Originally, he wanted to get back in the leadoff spot, but he says, well, what Jason Kipnis is doing, I'll shut up and I'll just hit down here and keep doing my job.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's going to fall on deaf ears. But here's the other thing, too. And this is hard to figure with Bourne.
Copy.
Since he's gone down the lineup, he has scored a dozen runs, and he's driven in a dozen runs.
Well, you still need production down at the bottom part of that lineup.
Strikes out here, 2 down in the inning. Time now for our Levin player profile. Taijuan Walker was a first-round supplemental pick by the Mariners in 2010. You talked about him being a great athlete. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the place he grew up in Los Angeles, the high school. No idea there, but I can tell you this.
Yokayapa.
Okay, good for you. He was a heck of an athlete because he was also a star on a basketball team. At 6'4", he could throw it down.
Yes.
Averaged 21 and 13, and his teammates dubbed him Taijuan Skywalker.
Yeah.
So they're going to miss by Perez. Maybe Kenny Skywalker was a little before their time. They probably didn't remember him. But this young man, again, young, coming through the system rapidly.
Old. Yes, he is.
So you have some ups and downs. But he's got that kind of stuff. Blow you away. 97-mile-an-hour heat. He has struck out 3. First time through the order. No score, middle of the third. To stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. No score, bottom of the third.
He's at home. He's got the whites on tonight.
The old school.
Yes, sir.
Early 90s. Willie Bloomquist will lead it off for Seattle here in the home half of the third. Willie's 37 years old. He came up with Seattle, made his debut in 2002 and a handful of games.
Kansas City.
Went to Kansas City for a year and a half, and Cincinnati, briefly Arizona.
He has been around.
Back here where it all began. Third round pick in 1999 out of Bremerton, Washington. He's one of those guys who's been able to do it all throughout his career. Right field. Back goes Murphy. Still on the run. Makes the catch deep in the corner for out number 1. Boy, he went a long way to run that baby down. A great clip of the game from last night. Corey Kluber. Last night in the ball game, he went 7. Struck out 13 batters. He allowed 2 runs on 7 hits. They came on the 2 home runs he allowed. The other 5 hits he gave up were all singles, and 3 of them did not leave the infield.
He is so much fun to watch pitch. He has quite an arsenal of pitches to get hitters out.
And Lonnie Chisenhall makes the catch 2 down.
Well, Live Indians Baseball is back in 2015 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
2 down, and here's Austin Jackson, who had a base hit in his first time up. Jackson singled right up the gut in the first, but then was thrown out trying to steal. Tries to go back up the middle again. This time Kipnis has it from near the bag at second. He throws him out. And Seattle goes in order. We played 3 in the Pacific Northwest. No score. The order for Cleveland. Jason Kipnis to lead it off. He singled his first time up for his 49th hit of the month. And that's in the dirt, ball 1. up to 454 here in the month of May. And that's almost 40 points higher than Albert Bell back in 1994. Out of play. Fly ball, deep center. Back goes Jackson, still going back. Makes the catch in the middle of the warning track for out number one. Oh, Kipnis hit it a long way into the alley in left center, but Jackson with good speed able to run it down.
Even his outs are hard. Hits a count in his favor. Hits a pitch that he likes and sends Austin Jackson, who can go get him in center field. Couple of steps onto the track. That was a different look there, wasn't it?
That was our
golf coming down.
Our golf shot. Look.
Okay.
Getting ready for the U.S. Open out here.
Chambers Bay.
Swing and a miss by Ramirez, 0-2. You can see the U.S. Open this year on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Ramirez flinched on a close pitch. And blew him away. Second time he has struck out Ramirez tonight. 4th K for Taijuan Walker, who is dealing here at the outset. Our T-Mobile game changer. Youngest pitchers to 2,000 strikeouts. Felix Hernandez reaching that plateau this year, but look at the others.
Look at Blyleven in that pirate hat there.
We are family buccos.
Yeah.
Sudden Sam, Walter Johnson. That's quite a foursome right there.
It sure is.
Michael Brantley grounded into a double play to end the first. His first time up. Well, I know it's getting late back home in Ohio, so I want to send out very special happy 90th birthday wishes tonight to Lois Gerstenberger, watching in Bedford, Ohio. Lifelong Tribe fan. She watches almost every game. And you may remember her son John Gerstenberger, who's been to fantasy camp a couple of times.
All right. Lois, very happy birthday to you. Well, hopefully she can stay up and watch this, the Indians try and get a win.
So far, Taijuan Walker's making that rather difficult. The Indians have 1 hit through the first 4. He has fanned 5. James Paxton put on the DL with a sprain of the left middle middle finger on his pitching hand, and that could be troublesome. Remember, a couple of years ago, that's what felled both Corey Kluber and who else? Who am I forgetting with the Indians?
Zach
McAllister as well.
Zach McAllister, yes. Both did it in the same year, about a month apart.
Boy, if Matt Adams is done for the rest of the year, that's a key loss for St. Louis. Middle part of their order, first baseman. Kyle Seager, a single his first time up. To left field. Michael Brantley coming in and makes the catch there, one away. Time now for a Mazda game break. Let's go back to the studios and Al Pulowski.
Josh Donaldson. He's pretty hot, isn't he?
Having a big year.
Yeah, he is.
And some clutch hits lately.
Yeah, he's had a lot of big hits, some walk-off home runs.
5 homers in his last 4 games. White Sox Astros tied 3-3 there in the 8th down in Houston. Kansas City clobbered the Cubs earlier today 8-4 at Wrigley. Detroit and the Angels are scoreless there in the 4th inning out in Anaheim. 1-1 foul back to the screen. We're in the bottom of the 4th here. Nelson Cruz struck out his first time up. Bauer threw some high heat by him.
Yeah, he came back in that at-bat beautifully.
Curveball foul back.
3-0 count. It was a 3-0 slider. 3-1 fastball away. 3-2 fastball in. And then they threw out the guy trying to steal, Seager, with the strike him out, throw him out double play.
Bounce that one in front of the plate to even it up.
Yeah. If he misses, he's making sure he's missing down, isn't he? Twice in this at bat, he spiked it out in front of the plate.
Off the plate, but Cruz not chasing there. So now a 3-2 count as the train whistles in the distance approaching Safeco Field. Payoff pitch. And that's going to find its way into the glove of Jason Kipnis, but by the time he got up to his feet, he just didn't have either a good grip or feel like he could make a play on them. Cruz at first.
I can't believe he got to the ball, because, you know, for Cruz, you're playing him up the middle. He had a long way to go. Look how did he hit that ball to right field. That pitch was up about shoulder height. And Kipnis tracks it down. He couldn't throw it. He had a grip. He just realized he wasn't going to get him, so you hold on to the baseball. But what a great job of getting to the ball. So a single for Cruz. That's the 4th hit for the Mariners tonight.
And up comes Seth Smith. Popped up to Lonnie Chisenhall in the 2nd inning. Oh, nothing to the imagination there. Straight fastball, and I'm going to swing as hard as I can.
Well, that's okay. It's going to be awfully tough to catch up to that pitch upstairs when you're a left-handed hitter. Smith likes that ball down.
Ran it up there again. This time he lays off. He missed down low, and it's 2-1. pulls it, but it's foul. And you can see Smith really fooled by the pitch. He was out on his front foot.
Back-to-back changeups. That's what it was. He threw the one before that was a little low. He couldn't swing at it. This one was in a great location. That was down, but it looked like a strike.
And it goes to show you that in a 2-1 count, you got a guy who he thinks it's a fastball, and he starts, and by the time he gets into the swing, he realizes it's not, but he can't stop.
Yeah, the pitch before was unhittable. He couldn't take a swing at it. That one he could, and he did. Beautiful.
Slowly chopped. They won't get a double play, but they will retire Smith, and Cruz gets into scoring position, 2 down.
Well, the Indians are going to host the Baltimore Orioles. That'll all take place Saturday, June 6th. That's next weekend when we get home off of this road trip. And you can buy lower reserved or lower box by June 1st, and you will save 20%. Plus 17,000 fans are going to get a Corey Kluber bobblehead courtesy of Sugardale. Just go to Indians.com/buy early.
Logan Morrison singled in the second inning. Yeah, he chased the high heat. It's one of those things that is still, I mean, I get it, but it's still hard to comprehend when you see it happen so many times. You're a left-handed hitter. You're a good, low ball hitter.
Right.
What do they always chase? The high fastball.
Well, you know why? It's the easiest pitch to see. I mean, because it's coming right there. You see it.
I get that. I like I said, I get that. I understand that. But if I know what I really hit is down here about thigh high, why would I even look for anything that's above the belt?
I don't know.
You just do, right?
You got to go in that box and figure it out for yourself. You don't have much time to realize that little white thing, that pellet that's coming at you, and it's moving a lot of times. I don't know. You swing at what you think you can hit, and whatever you see, that looks good.
On one pitch.
See, it starts out high. That would finish low. Why didn't he swing at it? Check it out on our Nissan pitch tracker. Good curveball. See, that's what makes him, that pitch, that high fastball, so good, because that curveball starts out where the fastball is, but it breaks down. That's Salazar's changeup. When his high fastball and he comes back and he has that changeup that goes down. I'll tell you what, the Indians have 4 starters, man, that can make you look silly as a hitter. They've got strikeout pitchers. They've got excellent stuff. You could go out there for a 4-game series if you faced all 4 of them, and you could have a rough one.
Well, we just saw that graphic a little while ago, the 50 strikeouts and 4 walks or fewer in 4 straight starts. Burt Blyleven, Big Uncle Charlie.
Yeah.
And, ride the fastball up.
He would give you a fastball to hit. You better hit his fastball, because if he throws you a good curveball, you're not going to hit it. And that's just like any of these guys. If their breaking ball is working, you're not going to hit the pitches. They're a good pitch.
Didn't get the call, and a full count.
That's all right, though. It's a good pitch inside for the left-hander. You see, that's a pitch I don't know how you lay off, because he had to be looking away for something. That pitch is awfully close to take with 2 strikes, at least from our angle.
Yeah.
This is a different center field angle that you get from a TV cameras than you do in most parks. So, it's different.
The payoff pitch. Back, he went to that breaking ball. And Perez going to go out. Maybe he didn't like the pitch. Maybe he didn't like the way he threw it. Maybe he's got a different plan of attack.
Well, let's look at it. And it was probably upstairs. All right, so he left that one up. He got away with it. You do have first base open. You have the right-hander Zunino on deck, and Zunino's hitting $191. So I don't know. Maybe they're talking about that or what they want to go about throwing here.
First Mariner to reach scoring position tonight, Nelson Cruz. That's ball 4. Inning continues. And then we'll bring up Mike Zunino.
First walk by Trevor tonight. He went right back inside. He wasn't going to give in. You're going to hit my pitch, or you know what? There's first base. Take your chances with Zunino. I don't mind that. Mariners spending an 11-day homestand here after just getting off the road. Their longest of the year, 11 days at home. The Yankees will follow the Indians in.
And Bauer falls behind Zunino 2-0. Slider, he chases after it.
Well, that's one thing Trevor Bauer has always been able to do, I think, since he came up, Matt, is he's not afraid to throw off-speed pitches when he's behind in the count. He's always been able to throw that slider or that changeup to hitters, because when he first came up, he had a tough time commanding the fastball and would fall behind a lot.
And again, the fastball command hit and miss at times here for Trevor.
Yes, and you know what? Don't be surprised to see another 3-1 slider.
Left-handed hitting Brad Miller waiting on deck. Bauer's walk back-to-back hitters to load the bases. Yeah, it looks like Mickey Callaway's going to go out there.
Yes, I would think so. Now's the right time. Let Mickey go talk to him. Perez was already out there one time. Just a quick little meeting, give him a little breather.
Bases loaded with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Indians came in here playing good baseball, winning 8 of their last 11. They're within 3 games of that 500 mark, and currently just 6.5 games out of first place. And that's because the Royals had lost 4 straight.
Minnesota's on a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah, they moved into a tie. Tigers a game and a half out. Then you have Cleveland, followed by Chicago. But right now, Trevor Bauer's in some soup. Bases loaded, 2 down. And Brad Miller jumps on that first fastball, but fouling it back.
How many times do you see the pitching coach go out after he talks to his pitcher, he leaves, and that hitter gets after that first pitch, thinking, okay, I know I'm going to get a fastball. He had one, he fouled it off.
That one's too tall. 1 ball, 1 strike. Defensive alignment pretty much straight up. Popped up. Shallow left center. Brantley screaming in. Ramirez goes out and makes the catch somehow over the shoulder with Brantley bearing down on him. And the Indians get out of the inning. The Mariners leave them loaded. Brantley calling for it. Ramirez couldn't hear him, and somehow he hangs on to it. Call for an appointment today. And by the game-changing all-new Ford F-150. The future is tough. It's a scoreless game as we go to the 5th.
That was a really nice play by Ramirez going out there. I'm not sure Brantley would have got there.
Well, they were converging at roughly the same time, but you get into that sort of
You can't call it.
Yeah.
You see, Ramirez was waving his hands, and usually an infielder goes out until the outfielder calls him off. Well, he didn't hear Brantley, so that's why he took it. Brantley, wisely enough, just stayed out of the way because I don't think he would have caught it. Could be wrong.
And the 0-2 fouled back by Moss.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The Indians' offense better try and find a way to do something with Walker because he's been very good.
He's given up one hit, and that was the hit that opened the game for the Indians by Jason Kipnis.
And nobody else has even sniffed the base.
Moss strikes out, and that's 6 now for Walker, 3 in a row.
Let's check this catch out again to end the inning. Bases loaded, everybody running. Watch his hand wave. You see him give him that one wave?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Brantley might have been able to get there. I don't know if he would have had to leave his feet.
Watch his bare hand, too. You know, you always hear people say use 2 hands when you talk to little kids about playing baseball.
Yeah.
There's a great example of, using that bare hand and make sure that ball stays in there and secure the catch.
Big play. Very big play.
Murphy drives one deep center, but back is Jackson, just gliding back and makes the catch. Let's go down to Andre, who has more on Jose Ramirez.
Tito Francona was talking before the game about Ramirez, and he says sometimes he runs the bases like he's invisible and no one can see him, but they like when he plays fearless. Now, in that last catch, Brantley felt like he could catch it just from overhearing what they were saying, but he didn't hear anything from Ramirez until the last second when he fair caught it, basically. So there were a lot of jokes when they came over here after the inning. But it shows you when Ramirez is playing fearless, he is a better player.
Yeah, but I didn't see Brantley make a call for that baseball, so Ramirez felt he had to catch it.
Well, on the one replay angle we had, you saw Brantley's lips moving. It looked like he was calling for it. But, the fans, they got bases loaded, 2 outs, balls in the air. They're getting loud, so.
Yeah, it's one of those tweener plays that happen when you go out there. You don't know who's going to get it, and you got to be careful. But it has to be caught, and it was.
With 2 down here in the 5th, Nick Swisher in a 2-1 count. And Taijuan Walker, when he has needed to, has been able to just reach back tonight and throw. Just looks like little BBs.
Well, his season high is 8 strikeouts. He did that against Houston back in April. He has 6 right now, and we're in the 5th.
There's a smash up the middle, and the Indians have their second hit of the night. A 2-out single by Swisher here in the 5th. So that'll keep the inning alive. Our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. And the Indians now plus 16 on the road this year, which is a big reason why they are a game over 500 on the road. Last time the Indians had a better road record than home record was 05. What do we remember about that 05 team? Tremendous pitching. In particular from the starters.
Yes, indeed.
And as the old saying goes, defense travels, right?
Yes, it does.
So if pitching is defense, if you've got good pitching, you can win anywhere in baseball. Popped up foul, out of play. Strikes out Chisenhall to end the inning on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. That gives him 7 punch-outs on the night.
Will take place June 6th. The Indians will take on the Orioles, and 17,000 fans will get Kluber's bobblehead, courtesy of Sugardale. Get your tickets at Indians.com.
What's with the Star Wars crew tonight? Oh, is it? I thought this was the 90s night. Isn't this all about the 90s?
I don't know. I saw.
Oh, coming up on June 19th, there's a Star Wars fireworks night.
Oh.
Princess Leia has not aged well, I got to tell you. The years have not been kind. Up high, Bloomquist takes.
I don't know. I saw an owl around before the game behind home plate.
Hoo-hoo-hoo!
I don't know, but it was out there.
Swing to foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the Stormtrooper's helmet, man, he's taken a beating lately. Did he go? They appeal. He did not.
Were you a big Star Wars guy?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what year was it? 76, 77?
Close. Not sure exactly.
The 2-2. Strike 3 called. Bloomquist can't believe it now.
Well, he's been calling the high strike. Let's check it out on make this our Circle K strikeout. You see, that's up probably more than so. That's a high strike, but I'll tell you who benefit. That's up above the belt.
Yeah.
Is Walker, because he's throwing 95 plus up there, and you can't catch up to it. And like I said, it was the low strike last night, and today it seems to be the high strike.
A hit off of his foot. But as you've told me in the past, hitters will adjust up and down. It's when the strike zone varies east and west that they have a tough time.
Yeah, hitters will make adjustments no matter what. Once you go through that first time through the lineup and they know you're going to consistently make that call, then they'll make their adjustments too. Although they don't like to, because sometimes your program, you get out there that I can't hit that pitch, I'm not swinging at it. But when you see both sides have a little something to say, then you know it's a little different. but you have to make an adjustment. You know, you'll be facing a pitcher say, all right, our goal is to make him get the ball up. Well, if he doesn't have to and the umpire's calling a low strike, you better start swinging the pitch down.
Whoa. Whoa. Good looking pitch there. And this time it was Bauer who was doing a double take.
Yes, he did. He sure did.
Now the payoff pitch. And he swung through it and strikes out. And that might be a product of that high strike zone because it looked like Ackley chased one. And that's the 4th K for Bauer as he's punched out back-to-back hitters here in the 5th.
Another fastball. Oh, yeah, that's way up. That's shoulder height. That's old school strike zone there. He wouldn't have called that one a strike if he takes it.
Well, you know, you always think about football and in basketball, you take what the defense gives you. Well, I guess in baseball, where's the umpire strike zone tonight? If you can, as a pitcher, target it,
oh, absolutely,
and exploit it, then that's where you keep going.
If you're that good where you can control your pitches and it's on the outside part of the plate, then you live off there until you see him call a ball.
Tom Glavine did it all the way to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, a lot of guys have. Maddox and guys like that. There's a lot of pitchers.
Now, as you pointed out, they had maybe better command than most guys because they could literally pinpoint it every time.
The difference now is there's no American League umpires or National League umpires. They're all one union. So they travel around. You don't get to see them as much. And a lot of times you don't get to know their strike zones like you used to.
Yeah.
You knew when the guy was coming to town, the home plate umpire, he's going to call a high strike. You know, they used to use the blue protectors and everything like that.
I'll tell you what, that's a heck of an inning for Trevor Bauer. He strikes out the side here in the 5th inning. Bloomquist looking, Ackley hacking, and Austin Jackson goes down swinging as well.
To Tribe Rewards, and today's Tribe Reward TV code is Terry. How many people call him Terry? Isn't it either Tito or Francona? You say Terry, I don't know. But there it is. It is Terry tonight.
High pop. Bloomquist into foul territory, and Bourne is quickly out number 1. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, and it has been a pitcher's duel thus far. Taijuan Walker has given up 2 singles. He has struck out 7. Trevor Bauer has given up 4 hits, and he has struck out 5, including 3 in a row in the 5th inning.
It's the game of high fastballs tonight.
Two quick darts, and Perez in the hole, 0-2. Ground ball to short, and Miller throws out Perez, 2 down. Gear up for the second annual Velosano Bike Ride for Cancer Research, July 17th through the 19th. There's an option for everyone with 6 different routes that start and finish in downtown Cleveland, including 1- and 2-day rides. Every dollar raised by Velosano participants benefits cancer research at Cleveland Clinic. So spread the word and bike to cure. Get involved by visiting velosano.org. And Jason Kipnis has to dance out of the way. Singled in the first, drove one to deep center that Austin Jackson caught on the warning track in the 4th inning. Back in 1938, the St. Louis Browns had a right-handed pitcher, Bobo Newsom, who had 61 strikeouts in a month, and his teammate, George McQuinn, the first baseman, had 50 hits. It came in August of 1938, and it's the only time, or it's the last time, I should say, that 2 teammates pulled it off. Here's a throw to first. Kipnis! They punch him out on a bang-bang play that ends the inning, at least for the moment. Terry Francona says, we might want to take a second look. It was bang-bang, very close. We'll see. No, Francona says we will not challenge. And we'll get a look as we go to break. Bloomquist with the off-balance throw. The Indians go 1-2-3, and we are still scoreless, middle of the 6th. He's 1 for 2 on the night. And he takes a strike. Pulls it foul, and the count quickly 0-2.
Trevor 12 of 20 first pitch strikes tonight. 84 total.
Yeah, I think he's had the last 5 in a row.
Yeah, he's held his own, man. He's
strikes him out.
How about that?
That's 4 straight Ks.
Yes, it is.
1 away in the 6th.
What's he go with here? A little changeup, I guess. I don't know if that was a slider or a changeup, but it was 85.
Nelson Cruz punched a base hit through the right side of the infield in the 4th. It's the last hit that Bauer has allowed, and Cruz has got another one. Pulled that one through the left side of the infield.
Well, this guy has done a nice job. That's why he's hitting 340.
Rick, coming up Thursday, June 18th, the American tradition of the U.S. Open comes to Fox, right here from the Pacific Northwest. Chambers Bay Golf Course on June 18th. Fox Sports 1, Fox, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The 115th U.S. Open Championship live. Should be a fantastic tournament, and it will be a beautiful setting.
I'm sure it will. Right on the bay where it's nice and windy.
Seth Smith 0 for 2 takes a look at the ball up high. And a strike called. Two and one the count. Smith has popped up, grounded out. Cruz taking a short lead at first. That is hit a ton. And way back gone. Seattle takes a 2-0 lead on the 5th home run of the year by Seth Smith.
Looked like it came off a slider, Matt. And it dropped right into the wheelhouse of Smith. Let's take a look at it. They want to go in, and that ball just stayed out. Stayed middle of the plate. Didn't get inside. And that swing plane, 86 mile an hour, went a long way. So Seattle gets on the board, makes it a 2-0 game. 5th home run given up by Trevor Bauer.
This is fouled, maybe playable. Perez near the dugout, and he stopped short and didn't make the play. He maybe carried his helmet a little too far.
Well, you know what? He got over there in time, and he was looking up, and he gave up thinking Lonnie was coming over there. He didn't call for it. Lonnie didn't. That's got to be his ball all the way, Perez. It's not an easy play now, folks, for the catcher to get all the way over there. But if you ran that far, you might as well catch it.
Good cut on a fastball, foul back 0-2. Check, did it go? No. And it's 2-2.
do you think from the side? Close.
Close, but I think it's the right call. 2-0 Mariners now after the homer by Smith. And Morrison fouls him off his foot. Potentially the last inning for Bauer as he's closing in on that 100 pitch mark. Again, I think there was a pitch where Bauer wanted a strike call, didn't get it, and it's that inside pitch that he hasn't gotten all night. He was stunned to turn back around and see that it wasn't a strike. Went back in there again, still didn't get it. That one definitely looked inside. And a walk brings up Mike Zunino. Bullpen about to scramble. First ball swinging, fouling it back. Zunino going to be (0-1) to count. A little bit high. 1-1. Ryan Webb getting loose.
I only see 2 ground ball outs on my card for Trevor Bauer tonight. Everything else up in the air are strikeouts.
Check there, and that time he might have went no. So there are no check swings tonight. Or they're all checks, I guess.
Well, he wanted to. You could see 56% strikes for Trevor tonight. Not as good as he has been in the past.
Two and two the count. And now Zunino is punched out. That's 7 strikeouts for Bauer, 2 down in the inning. Zunino's not going to complain because he's catching Taijuan Walker, who's dealing a shutout right now, and he's been.
You see, that's the same pitch that to the left-handers. That's called a ball.
Yeah.
But he gets the call to the right-hander.
A lot of times it's where that umpire sets up. If he sets up like right now, he's set up on the inside. Actually off the inside corner. Just don't get the call, it seems like. Popped him up. Shallow right. Kipnis near the line. Into foul ground. Has it. Mariners have scored 5 runs against the Indians in the first 2 games of this series. All 5 via the long ball. They lead this game 2-0. By Kia. Visit mykiacleveland.com to learn more. By Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture and freestanding locations. And by AT&T Uverse, has more channels on the go than cable. 2-0 Seattle as we go now to the 7th inning. And Jose Ramirez takes the ball down low.
Taijuan Walker has been very good tonight. 2 singles, Kipnis in the 1st, Swisher in the 5th.
Right back. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's had an explosive fastball tonight, and he's thrown it a lot with 2 strikes upstairs in the strike zone.
It's going to find its way to the seats as Ramirez is trying to stay alive here. Even though he's punched out twice tonight, his best games this year have been out of the 2-hole. He's batting .314 on the year when batting second for the Indians. By far his best start in the order. I mean, it's not even close.
Well, he's trying to stay alive, just foul some pitches off.
This one's popped up shallow left. Out goes Ackley, and in comes Ackley. And he makes the catch and left one away.
Look at Walker's punch-outs tonight. His first one comes on a changeup. And after that, it's just straight gas. High fastballs. All swings and misses. He doesn't mess around. Tough to catch up to that. And I think some of it is when you get that called strike that's up there, it forces you to swing at some, but they have not been able to catch up to it.
And Michael Brantley is 0 for 2 on the night. He steps in.
Change
That's an off-speed pitch for a strike.
First pitch changeup, why not? I'll tell you what, how does this guy have a 7 ERA is beyond me.
Somebody's got to explain it. I don't know.
You know what? He's pitched better at home. He's 0-2 at home. Never has had a win in this ballpark, but with a .349 ERA. On the road, he's 4-6 with a .545. He's given up, a couple of home runs in his last start to Toronto. But man, this guy, you can see the kind of arm he has and the potential that this young man can get to. 3
home runs to the Astros in a game. They tagged him for 8 runs in 3 innings. Brantley shoots one to deep left. Back is Ackley. Oh my goodness, he made the catch. Wow. That was a sensational play by Dustin Ackley, and I don't know how in the world he caught it.
I don't either, because that ball's slicing away from him on the dead run. It's a backhand that he throws up there. It goes into the glove, and his glove was almost pointed downwards on the dead run. That is a tremendous, I mean a great catch. Look at that, right into the webbing, and that ball turned his glove over on the run. That is a beautiful play, and you can see he loves it. Walker just absolutely loves that play. That's at least a double.
Brandon Moss takes a strike.
That's a tough catch.
That's twice tonight, and the Mariners have gone to the warning track to take away hits. Austin Jackson took at least a double, if not a triple, away from Kipnis in the 4th inning, and that's at least a double for Brantley here in the 7th. Pop back out of play. He strikes out Moss, and he is carving them up. That's 7 in a row set down by Taijuan Walker. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Right now, no sound being made by the Indians' bats. They have been muffled by Taijuan Walker. Trevor Bauer has given up a 2-run homer to Seth Smith. It came in the 6th inning that snapped a scoreless game. And that's where we stand into the bottom of the 7th now. Willie Bloomquist leading it off.
Fastball.
Chased one in the dirt.
That time he went.
And that gives Trevor Bauer 8 strikeouts now.
Well, it'll be Dollar Dog Night next Friday night. The Orioles will come to town. And fans can also enjoy Pepsi products for just $1. And there'll also be a post-game fireworks show. Go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Out of a half swing, foul back. Swung on and missed, and Dustin Ackley is quickly erased. And that gives Bauer 9 punch-outs tonight.
Go, AJ.
Well, this is a good located curveball. You see it started out about mid-thigh, ends up, it doesn't hit the dirt, but it comes close, but it's a good chase pitch, and he was able to get Ackley to chase it.
Austin Jackson 1 out of 3 tonight. And he goes after the first pitch and a foul back. Jackson spent most of this month on the disabled list. He went on the DL May 4th and was just activated May 26th. right ankle sprain knocked him out for a while. Now the 0-2. Breaking ball, and he's able to lay on. Zipchinski up for Cleveland. Bauer powers his way through the 7th, striking out the side for the 2nd time tonight. He'll finish most likely with 10 strikeouts, but on the short end of a 2-0 score. Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Two nothing. Seattle leads it. We're going to the 8th inning. David Murphy leading off for Cleveland, and a first pitch strike from Taijuan Walker. Walker has had 0 trouble tonight. The Indians have had 2 hits, both singles, and neither runner has advanced.
Well, he hasn't walked a batter. He has 8 strikeouts, which ties the season high. And, you know, he's been able to get away with that high fastball. He's mixed in a nice changeup. He's shown a few curves, but McClendon wanted him to throw more fastballs. I'll tell you, he's done a good job of that tonight.
Well, for him, this is, to this point, this has been a masterpiece. This is what you want to do as a pitcher. Well, he's been efficient.
Yes.
And he's been able to just wheel and deal with no base traffic, no real pressure to deal with. Yeah, other than the fact that it was a scoreless game up until the 2-run homer in the 6th by his guy. Wow, what a smash to first. Morrison with a great play, and Walker's there to beat Murphy to the bag by a half a step.
I'll tell you what, that was another nice play. Morrison able to knock it down. That ball was hit. And I'll tell you, it shows you the athlete that this guy is on the mound. He gets over there in time and gets it Murph by a half a step. Just there, gets to the bag, timed perfectly. That ball was smoked. He didn't catch it, but he kept it in front. They're going to give him a little breather now. He gets the first out. They played some really good defense. Look at, he beats him over to the bag.
I mean, Morrison caught that more out of self-defense than anything.
Yeah, he sure did. They played good defense. The times the Indians have hit the ball hard, they've made a good play.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do about that.
No, I've got 3 stars on my card. They've all been terrific plays. Austin Jackson went deep in left center to take one away from Kipnis.
Yeah.
Brantley was robbed by Ackley. And now that play by Morrison takes probably a double away from Murphy. At least a single. If he doesn't knock it down, it's certainly a double. Swisher down on the count 1-2.
And a one-hop smash to Seager with the shift on and throws him out, 2 down. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And the Mariners, as we told you, they played good defense.
Yeah, there's that one. Jackson made that look easy. Bloomquist, that's Kipnis again, taking him another hit. That's the play of the game right there. Ackley robbing Brantley for a double. Walker loving every minute of it, but they have really played some fine defense when the Indians have hit the ball.
Yeah, because that play ended the inning, I forgot to mark that. I didn't star that one. That was a heck of a play by Bloomquist. So
yeah,
to take
it sure
what
was.
would have been the 50th hit of the month away from Kipnis.
Right.
Lonnie shoots one foul left side out of play, 1-1.
This will be pitch number 100 for Walker. Crowd loving the effort that this young man has given him. 22 years old. Look at that. You say no trouble.
Out of play to the left. I mean, it just can't.
It's been a really tidy game for him.
Can't, for the life of me, figure out what has gone haywire for him in some of his other starts this year.
This is only the 3rd time on the season that he's thrown over 100 pitches. And the most he's ever gone is 102.
Broken bat, but Bloomquist runs it down. Indians go in order again. That's 10 in a row retired by Taijuan Walker. Had an absolutely beautiful shot of the downtown skyline. Just beyond, you see the football home of the Seattle Seahawks. Stay tuned for Indians Live. It's brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Coming up next. They still call it Quest Field over there? Century Link Field. Okay, got you. Ryan Webb now in the ball game for the Indians. Cleveland Clinic called to the bullpen. Trevor Bauer went 7, allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, walked 3, struck out 10. Webb's 10th appearance of the year.
You and I noticed that it looked like they were adding seats in the end zone over at the Seahawks.
Yes, it did.
And it can understand why. I mean, they're the hottest thing in town. Seattle Sounders are in first place in the great soccer program here, and they love their soccer. I mean, they march through the streets on game day like it's the,
it's huge out here.
It's like the Rose Bowl parade every time there's a home game.
And this season doesn't the conference, the Browns, Steelers, and they come and play Seattle, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know who's coming here and which one's going, but yeah. Browns will be here in
Seattle.
Seattle.
What I thought. I thought they were coming here.
They say it is the loudest place in football. Kyle Seager is 1 for 3 tonight with a single that came back in the first. Fernando Rodney is up in the bullpen for Seattle.
That may be a good thing for the Indians.
Well, it's a good thing for the Indians, and I was going to say, Rick, if he comes into the game, Lloyd McClendon might have a riot on his hands.
Well,
because Rodney has not been a sure thing this year, and the way Walker's pitching, I'm sure these fans are saying, do not take him out.
Well, he's thrown right now, as I said, twice this year, 102 pitches, and tonight I think he had 102 or 103. So that's tops, and that's his closer, and then McClendon's a believer. Hey, that's my guy. I got to go with him. If the situation presents itself. I think in his last start against Tampa, he gave up 3 runs in the 9th. In one of those games that they were down there, they ended up coming back to win it. But hey, life is a closer. They had an article in the paper when we first got in. I think it was on Wednesday night about Earl Weaver and Don Stanhouse, one pack.
Yeah.
You know, when Stanhouse would pitch, Earl Weaver would go through a pack of cigarettes.
Well, Ryan Webb, not good. Comes in, walks the first guy to lead off this home half of the 8th. Kyle Seager trots down to first, and now Nelson Cruz coming to the plate. Well, there's probably no role in baseball that's more polarizing than that of the closer. It's like a quarterback in football.
Well, and it's such a big thing because it's specialized. Everything is specialized. You set your bullpen up from your closer on down, backwards. And, closers back in the day, and I know this game has evolved and everything, but now just as a reliever, there's matchup guys, there's 8th inning guys, there's 7th inning guys when it matches up well. But the closer is one thing. You have got, if you blow a save, you've got to be able to come right back the next night and save a game if you're given the opportunity.
Which again, like the quarterback in football, you can't be afraid to throw an interception. It's going to happen. How do you bounce back? Does it affect you? And you also have to understand that fans, they're going to love you when it's going well. The minute you blow one, they're going to holler for the other guy. They want the other guy.
You see, but the game is so specialized now. They're saying this guy they couldn't touch him. Why do you take him out? You got to have a gut feeling. This guy's got to be able to finish the game. If he has a few pitches left in him. Why do you have to go to your closer? I think everybody says. Yeah. Why? Yeah. I mean, you want to know sometimes. I certainly do sometimes when you're playing in there. Managers, you just have to, I think sometimes are just loyal with their closers. The complete game is a thing of the past for the most part here in Major League Baseball.
Weekly shot to second. They'll get the lead runner, but that's it. One away. I think not only is the complete game a thing of the past, but the manager doesn't want to put his starter back out there to start the 9th inning and then have him give up a hit or a walk, and now he's got to bring his closer in, and already there's traffic, and they just don't want to ratchet up the situation on that next guy.
I know, but you know what? Sometimes a starter earns the right to go out there in the 9th, I think, to complete a game.
The other problem you have that sometimes we fail to take into consideration is that starters are now programmed to know that when they see that pitch count get to a certain point, okay, my work is done here.
Well, they're happy giving 6, 7, 8 innings. Right. Did you see the stat they just put up there?
23 out of 24.
Yeah, 23 out of the last 24, and it was
dominating.
You would think he would have every reason to go right back out there. He has been in no trouble. He has not walked a batter. You would think the kid would be out there, but I don't think so.
Here's my thing too, and so much of this game is mental. All right, we're not going to debate that. Hitting's mental, throwing a baseball, a lot of it's mental. If you're Taijuan Walker in the dugout right now, I don't care if you're 22, if you're 32, if you're 42 years old. If you don't see anybody warming up in the bullpen, that should fire you up. My manager believes in me. I'm going out to finish this game. The fact that Rodney's up and getting loose tells him, well, I guess I'm done. Or, well, if I get in a little trouble, at least he's up ready to go.
That could be true. But you got to have him up because it's a 2-run game.
And
it's
I
2-0.
understand that, but sometimes you have to be willing to maybe sacrifice a game to get better in the long haul.
Well,
this could be a defining moment in this very young man's career.
This kid has done a great job. He's looking for his first home win. He's 22 years old. You don't want to put him in that situation. You want to get that win in his back pocket and build his confidence up. I understand that. You know, maybe there will come a time when Lloyd McClellan will say, I believe in you. You go out there, you complete this game. But right now, I got to turn it over. We need a win. We got to get back to that 500 mark. I totally understand.
I can see both sides.
I mean,
of it.
you know, he knows his players a whole heck of a lot better than we do.
And he's got Rick Waits right there.
Yes, sir.
Pitching coach who's been at it a long time.
The way he's pitched this year and the way he's pitched tonight, obviously, they're seeing a different pitcher.
Yeah.
You know, so this is something that this kid's got to take home and say, I did my job tonight. Look what I'm capable of doing.
In the meantime, Ryan Webb's working himself into some serious trouble here. 1 on, 1 out. 3-1 count on Smith. And a strike called, full count. Runner goes, and it's ball 4. Second walk of the inning. Jerry Franklin is going to come out and make a pitching change right now. Our play of the game brought to you by Pat O'Brien Chevrolet. Ouch. 2-run homer by Seth Smith, and that's been it.
Yes, it is. That's the ball game right there. Slider. Smith hit it. Smith hit his 5th, and Bauer gave up his 5th, but Bauer pitched good. One little mistake. And now you come out in the bottom of the 8th, and Webb walked the leadoff man, got a ground ball, and walked the second guy. So time to go back and get Nick Hagan on.
2-0 Seattle. They've got 2 on with 1 out. Logan Morrison coming up and Mick Hagedorn in for the Indians. Morrison has singled and walked twice. And so you got the lefty-lefty matchup. High fastball for ball 1. Popped him up, back in. Next we'll get into the seats. 1-1 to count. Center field, Michael Bourne. Going to make the catch. Cruz will tag and go to third, 2 down. And the batter will be Mike Zunino. And we'll have another pitching change. So Hagedorn gets the left-handed hitting Morrison. And it looks like Brian Shaw will come on to face Mike Zunino when we come back.
Let's take a look at Trevor Bauer's night. Bauer really, he went out there and was dealing. He ended up with 10 strikeouts. He made one mistake in this ball game, and unfortunately, it's a 2-run difference in this game. So we'll make this our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Trevor Bauer went out there, pitched a gem, but you have to score to get a win. And he settled in, and he ended up striking out the side in his last inning. So the Indians right now trying to keep it a 2-0 game and give themselves a chance in the ninth if they can.
Brian Shaw, his 23rd appearance of the year. Facing off against Mike Zunino, who has fouled out walk and was rung up back in the 6th inning. And It's outside for ball one. Challenged him. Good fastball from Shaw. Threw it by him there, and it's 1-1. Another good fastball, but a little bit wide. 2-1. So Shaw has put himself behind the 8-ball, 3-1. Fouled right back in a full count. Nelson Cruz, the runner at third base. Seth Smith at first. 2 down, last half of the 8th. Mariners already leading at 2-0. Indians trying to get out of the inning now. Runner goes at first, swing and a miss. Shaw strikes him out. So he does his job. The Indians use 3 pitchers to get 3 outs. We'll go to the 9th. 2-0 Seattle. Seattle, and stick around after the ball game for Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Well, the Indians managed 2 singles against Taijuan Walker tonight. He retired the last 10 in a row, 23 of the last 24 he faced, and the only runs for Seattle coming on a 2-run homer by Seth Smith in the 6th inning. And now it comes down to Fernando Rodney against the Indians here in the 9th, and it'll be Michael Bourne, Mike Aviles, and Jason Kitten is due up for the Tribe. Rodney has had his troubles. Look at that earned run average, .698, and yet only 2 blown saves.
Well, you're right. 13 out of 15 this year, but he has converted 34 of his last 36. He has allowed a run in 6 of his 9 appearances in May, including 3 runs the game I was talking about down in Tampa 3 days ago. But, you know, he's a fastball changeup guy. He can come out. He can be lights out where you can't hit him. He can be wild. He can walk the bases loaded. You know, we've seen a little bit of everything from this guy. But right now, the Indians need a base runner, and maybe something good can happen. Plant that seed. Get somebody on.
Michael Bourne takes a strike. To left field, near the line, drops foul.
No, that would have stayed fair, would have been a base hit. You want a base runner, because if you can get a base runner, now that puts doubt in all the fans that are here. And even Rodney said, because the tying run comes to the play, but this just slices foul.
Just missed. A little low, 1-2, blowing in. That's been a pitch all night, though, that Pat Hoberg has not called.
That's exactly right. It's been down, and you see the catcher's calling for it up. Down and in, you're not going to get the call tonight. That's not where the strike zone is.
And Michael lays off, back to even a 2-2. Bourne chased ball 3 and almost knocked himself out swinging at it. 1 away. Almost like he made up his mind he was swinging no matter what, because this ball was so far in off the plate.
Yeah, he couldn't hit it.
I don't think I've ever seen a guy do that before.
Well, that was worse than the pitch before that he took, and the umpire called the ball.
Outside ball 1 to Mike Aviles. Aviles getting an opportunity to pinch hit here in the 9th inning. He's 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter. That's why Terry Francona goes to the right-handed hitting Aviles in this at-bat. Wow. And missed by a whole bunch. 2-1.
I don't know how Zunino caught that ball.
Chopped to second. 2 down. You know, pro sports has always, will always be a what have you done for me lately business. But I mean, it has been interesting even to me, as long as I've been around and doing this. Larry Stone, who's a longtime baseball writer here in Seattle, he had a big story when we got in about calling for Carson Smith to get an opportunity to be the closer, because Rodney's had so many problems. It was just a year ago that Rodney led all of baseball with 48 saves and set the Mariners' single-season all-time record. And yet we're not even to the All-Star break, and they're like, get him out of there.
Yeah.
Give me somebody else.
Doesn't take long, does it?
No, it does not. Jason Kipnis 1 for 3 tonight. He singled his first time up, robbed of hits his next time up in both the 4th and 6th innings. So he's 1 for 3. Could very easily be 3 for 3 if not for a couple of really good defensive efforts by the Mariners. One by Austin Jackson in center field, one by Willie Bloomquist at second base. Kipnis still sitting on 49 hits for the month of May. And if he can get aboard here, you bring the tying run to the plate.
That's what you need. You still need that base runner.
Kipnis with that single in the first inning. And remember, the Indians have only 2 hits tonight, but his base hit extended his hitting streak to 9 games. 15 hits during his 9-game streak. And he draws a walk here, and he told Andre earlier today 2 things are most important to him statistically. Runs scored, because that's how you win games, and on-base percentage. Doesn't matter if it's getting a hit, taking one for the team, drawing a walk, whatever it takes to get on base.
Get on base and make something happen. And Rayburn's now going to come and pinch hit for Ramirez. So now it brings the tying run to the plate. So you're still alive.
And you can see as Kipnis takes off uncontested down to second base, you can almost see the anguish in the Mariners fans' faces, knowing that they've seen this all too many times.
You see how quiet they are, and they're looking for the last out. And this thing is, please hurry up and get it. I mean, they sense it, because they've seen it. Get a base hit here. Bring Brantley up, or another walk. See, every pitch. They're not cheering for him.
Oh no!
Yeah, see, they're not cheering for him here with 2 outs and trying to get that last out. They're gasping for air.
Groans are growing louder. 3-0. And Michael Brantley waits on deck, and now they're starting to boo. He walks him. It will be a loud chorus.
Well, you got to take 2 strikes here. He ended up walking Kipnis, and something has creeped in. The creeper. There's one.
The 3-1 pitch. Drilled deep right center. Cruz back on the track. He can't make the play. Kipnis scores the tying run. Rayburn's on his way to third. He goes in head first safely with a 2-out RBI triple. And the tying run is 90 feet away. Cruz came oh so close to ending the game with what would have been at least the 4th circus play by a Mariner defender tonight.
I was going to say they've made some great defensive plays all night long, and here's one they can't make. And it's a 3-1 pitch, and Rayburn was waiting for it. And I got to tell you, he drove it to right center field. He had a pretty good history against Rodney. And out comes the manager to, I'm sure, talk to his closer. Boy, that's so close.
Did he get leather on it?
It looked like he could have. And Rayburn hustling all the way out of the box. He gets into third, so the tying run is just 90 feet away.
There is nobody throwing in the Seattle bullpen, so this is simply a manager making a point.
He's going to go talk to his guy, and he's got a tough hitter up there, Brantley, who's had pretty good success. And look at Rayburn, his first triple. Fans are probably looking and say, why'd you take your starter out when he's coming back? And that's what they're going to have to deal with.
Let's see. Right fielder Cruz.
Oh, so close. He does not touch it. But boy, it's about an inch away.
Here's Brantley, and it's ball 1 up and in. Brantley pops it right center. Cruz, the right fielder, makes the catch, and the Mariners survive. The Indians get a run in the 9th. Too little, too late tonight as Seattle evens the series with a 2-1 victory here tonight. And with the win, Taijuan Walker gets his first win at home in his young career. It's his 18th career Major League start. He finally has a win here at Safeco Field. Fernando Rodney, another tense situation, yes, but he does, in the end, nail down the save. It's his 14th already on the year.
Only a half a pack tonight.
Tough luck loss for Trevor Bauer. He falls to 4-2. With the win, Seattle back to 500 at 24-24, and the Indians are now 22-26. 2-1 Seattle is the final. We'll be back with a final thought right after this.